Hey everyone, welcome to Module 1, Your Real Estate Story. This is where I'm going to show you how to develop your real estate story so that people, real estate professionals, will work with you. Now, as you begin in this business, I know it's a difficult thing and it can be a scary thing to have to pick up that phone and talk to people. You don't know what you're going to say. I didn't know what to say when I first started. Nobody taught me how to come up with my real estate story. You know, you just kind of wing it. You stumble over words. A lot of times, new real estate investors, after they've learned a lot of things, they like to just spout it out at people. It's, you know, a little bit of diarrhea of the mouth. It's not pleasant for the person that's on the other end of it. So let's go through this. And to start, I want to tell you my real estate story, how I present myself to people in the real estate industry and that I'm wanting to do business with. If they don't know me, my story now is, hey, you know what? I've done hundreds of flips across the country. I've been part of thousands of real estate transactions, and I've raised millions of dollars of private money. You want to do some work with me? It's pretty much that simple. Now, I can say that with belief and credibility, and I can back it up with facts. But we all have a real estate story that we can share. And mine wasn't always like that. I stumbled over my words. I picked up the phone and I was calling agents, and I just didn't know what to say. It's a learning curve as you go along. But the main thing is, you always have to remember through this process of talking to other real estate professionals that there's more of them out there. There's always more realtors. There's always more contractors. There's always more money out there. If you stumble on a phone call, it's a learning experience, and you're that much closer to that winning one. So as I go through here, I'm going to be working off my laptop just to let you know so I can stay on track with all of you and help present the stories for you. Your story, what most real estate educators like to tell you as they're in these big real estate seminars of 200, 400, 500 people, whatever it is in a room, they give you a simple little pitch line. And it usually goes something along the lines of, hi, I'm a real estate investor. I've got $1 gazillion and I'm looking for 1 or 2 properties that are distressed. Could you send them on over to me? Thanks. It doesn't work. Most people can't say that with enough belief and conviction to get those realtors to do any deals with them. That's not how this works. You have to have your story, and you all have it. Doesn't matter what part of life you're at, whether you're a kid just out of high school or you're you've done 100 flips. You all have your real estate story, and some of you just need help trying to find it. It does have to be built on truth, though. The more truth that's in your story, the easier it is for you to say because you're going to believe it. And that's the most important thing. People want to work with people that are honest. And if you can tell your story when you're talking to an agent, you're out at a kid's birthday party and someone says, "Oh, I'm a realtor. What do you do?" You have those conversations. That's where this story comes up. Or if you're contacting realtors in a new market and you want them to start sending you deals, how do you present yourself to them? It has to have truth, but not the whole truth. You don't have to tell them everything. You have to find the amazing in what you have done, because we've all done something. We've all been part of something. Even the kid right out of high school, you've done something. Maybe you've watched your parents grow and buy and sell a house or two. There's a story in each of our lives. You just have to find it, work on it, and present it. And if you believe it, it's that much better and that much closer for you to get deals being sent to you. And that's really what this is about. Your story will make people want to connect with you and work with you because you're a person now. You're not just some new real estate investor fresh out of a class that says, I've got $1 gazillion and I'm looking for damaged properties. It's your story, and they want to work with you. So I'm going to give you a couple examples of some of my prior students where we took their life and what they've done and turned it into their real estate story. So I'm going to first tell you about Joan. Now, when I met Joan, she had just been let go from her job. So, I think she's 52 years old at the time. And she didn't know what to do, but she knew she wanted to do real estate investing, but she didn't know how or why people would want to work with her. So I don't think Joan was recently let go. What we did with Joan, we just said, you know what, Joan, you're recently retired. It's the words that you use. Retired. Oh, you're retired? You can afford to be retired? You must have some money. I'm retired? Awesome. You know, it's what you use for your words and the perception that those words bring. So Joan was recently retired. Now, Joan, 52 years old, she had bought and sold 2 or 3 houses over just normal life. And her husband, her new husband, and her both owned their own houses when they first met. So they got married and they moved into one of the houses, but they rented out the other one. So wait, hang on. Now, Joan has experience buying and selling properties, but she also has experience in rental properties. Joan was already a real estate investor. She just didn't know it yet. We all have this story, but with Jones, now she's not only retired, and at 52, that's a young retired age, but she has friends that are still in the workforce. Now, her friends who are still working in their 10 and 12-hour jobs don't have time to be a full-time real estate investor or even a part-time real estate investor, but they have money that they want to invest with Joan. They might not know it yet, but that was what Joan made into her story. And she was part of a network, just like you are with this Missing Pieces program. You're part of this network, a network of experience and a network where there's people with money that want to fund deals. So Joan's story was, and let me show you a picture. We got Joan, recently retired full-time investor. And she would say, hi, my name's Joan. I'm recently retired and I have a lot of time on my hands and want to follow my passion for real estate investing. I've done a few deals, but I'm looking for more. Can you help me with that? That's how Joan presented herself. She's done a few deals. You know, she's being modest about it. If they start asking questions, she can say, yeah, you know, I bought and sold a couple in this city and that city. I've had a couple rentals, but right now I'm looking for properties that I can fix and flip. Can you help me with that? You see how we end the phrase with, can you help me with that? Is that something you can do for me? Because what we're doing with our real estate story, we don't want to focus on the past. We want to use the real estate story for our future and the people that we're talking to, their future as well, because we want it to be beneficial for them. If it's a realtor, contractor, private investor, they can all make money with you. So focus on the future that you can have with them. But your past is what establishes that future work that you can do with them. So let's give you another example. So Richard had recently moved from California into Nevada. Now, Richard, actually, he was, his wife and 2 kids were still in California because they were going to school. His kids were, I think, 14 and 17, and they wanted to finish high school. But Richard's job moved him into Nevada. So now Richard, from California, wanted to also learn about real estate investing. This was something that was, you know, he's always kept an eye on it. And I'm sure some of you are from California, and you know, it's a market that goes up and down, and very real estate centric. There's a lot of those markets across the country. People are interested in real estate everywhere, but not everyone knows their story, and they can communicate it so that it can become their real estate investor story. So now Richard, again, he was, I think Richard was in right around 55 when I met him. And he didn't know what his story was. He didn't know why anybody would work with him. Well, I've never flipped a house before. So I asked Richard, okay, have you ever bought a house before? Yes. Have you ever sold a house before? Yes. Guess what, guys? There's no statute of limitations on when a flip has to be done. There's no rule that says a flip has to be done in 6 months or less. It can be years. He bought a house and he sold it. He made improvements to that house. Not all flips have to have improvements done to them. So it's perception, but it's still truth. So Richard was like, yeah, you know what? I have bought and sold properties. I'm like, okay, well, now that you're in Nevada, where are you living? He said, well, I'm renting a place. And I said, oh, so now you have experience in rentals too. Have you ever owned rentals? No, I haven't. But I've let him know, hey, you know what, Richard? You've got experience in rentals. And that was part of his now real estate story. So Richard was from a transplant. And let me tell you, if you're in other states besides California and you say that you're an investor from California, realtors love it. Realtors love anybody that's out of state. Because think about that. If you're from Montana and you're investing in Texas, oh, wow, you must be doing pretty good in Montana to come invest in Texas. That's a perception item. You know, it's what the realtors or what the contractors or the wholesalers think. And you don't need to correct them, but there's truth in all of this. And you have to find it and present it. So now with Richard, he was relocated for his work, right? That also means that, wow, Richard, you must be pretty important to your business for them to move you from one state to another. Guess what? The perception on that is you're important. You must have a good salary. Again, little things, little tweaks that you can lean on in your actual story right now to turn your story into your real estate story. So Richard, I'm got a little picture here, Richard. His little tagline was, I'm a real estate investor experienced in flips and rentals. And he could tell people, hi, my name is Richard. I'm a real estate investor from California, and I'm looking to expand my business. Do you think you could help me with that? So I'm looking to expand my business, my real estate investing business. That means, oh, you already have one. You're already doing things. You've done things. You're looking to expand. You're an investor from another state. Ooh, I love those. And again, we end it with a question. Because if you just said, hi, my name's Richard. I'm a real estate investor from California, and I'm looking to expand my business. What's the person on the other side of your story going to say? Oh, cool. What part of California are you from? You don't want to talk about what part of California you're from. You want to talk what they can do to help you in your future business with them. I call it dangling the carrot, right? You always plant these seeds, dangle a carrot. You want these people that you're talking to want to help you, because as soon as you talk to a realtor and you let them know you're wanting to buy houses, they start thinking commission. It's just the way it is. And I know some of you watching this right now are realtors, and you know I'm right. Realtors think about commission. So, and that comes down to creating sales. And if your story is something that you can discuss, believe, but then move on from and say, okay, do you think you could help me with that, with the expansion of my business in your market? Yeah, you know what? I can help you with that. What do you need from me? Great. You know, that's the start of the conversation that you're looking for. So you leave it as, do you think you could help me with that? And you know what? Every once in a while, you'll still get that person that says, you know, I got to be honest with you. I don't really work with investors. It's a simple response to that. You don't try to convince them to work with you. They've already said no. Let them be no. But you got somebody in a conversation. Use that conversation for something still. Say, oh, well, is there anyone in your office that works with an investor or is an investor-friendly realtor? And they might say, oh, yeah, you know what? Bob works with investors all the time. He's really great. I can give you his number. Now, when you call Bob or email Bob, you can say, Hey, Bob, I got your name from Jim. He said that you work with investors, and I was hoping you could help me out with that. Now you're a referral, and Bob's going to work that much harder to give you what you want. So never leave a conversation, a potential contact, without getting something out of it. Keep going and get something out of that conversation. But it all comes from your real estate story. All right, I'm going to give you one more example, and this is Chris, the newbie. So Chris was that kid straight out of high school. It's just he's watched all of the real estate investing shows. He's gone to a couple seminars, but he never was able to do anything with his real estate investing business yet. He wasn't putting it on the shelf, but he was perceived as a newbie because he didn't have experience. He had the energy. He had a lot of energy. He had the knowledge. So, I gave him all of the knowledge base that he needed to do this real estate investing business. But the experience wasn't there. But you know what? It wasn't his experience that was necessary because he had these other things. So we relied on the experience of his parents. He said, hey, you know what? I've watched my parents flip some houses before. It's okay if it took 3, 4, 5 years for that house when they bought it to sell it. We can still call it a flip. You can still call it a flip if you've bought and sold a house before. It's experience. I've seen them do that. I've gone through and I've gotten some education on this, and I've done a lot of research. And you know what? I was wondering if you might want to help me create this business. I can teach you my systems and we can both succeed. So Chris was able to take this lack of experience and not worry too much about it, because he's like, yeah, you know what? I've seen people do it. I can do it because I have these systems that you now have as you go through this course, the missing pieces. And this course, the all these pieces, all these little nuances, and you guys have to make sure you go back and watch these videos again and again. If you're writing down notes, you're going to be missing things. Watch these videos again and again, because with Chris, it was the fact that he could say, I've got systems, I've got processes that are going to make us successful. And you're including your realtor in there, your contractor, your wholesaler, whoever you're partnering up with. Because it's not just about you, because they want to be successful too. And if you can teach them something along the way, they're going to be more willing to help you. So Chris, if you can't tell, this isn't really a picture of Chris, but he was boy genius real estate investor. That's what the realtors thought of him. They were like, wow, you know so much. And as soon as you show a realtor that you know more about real estate investing than them, and you do, as you go through this program, I guarantee that you will know more than 95% of the realtors out there. There is so much knowledge that real estate investors have after they go through this program that normal realtors don't have. And if you can show them that you're knowledgeable, that you're using a system, that you know how to run your numbers, you know how to look at comps, and we'll get to that in later modules, but it's letting them know your story and that you know what you're doing will make them want to work with you. So Chris, boy genius real estate investor. Hi, my name is Chris. I'm growing my real estate business, and I'm looking for a good realtor who wants to make some money with me and learn my systems along the way. Would you be interested in that? Who wouldn't be? Yeah, you know what? I would love to make some money with you, Chris. And tell me about these systems. What are you doing? Well, you know, I'm fixing and flipping houses. That's my goal. And you just get into it and say what you need from them. Remember, when you're telling your story, we're not worrying about the past. Yes, people will ask questions. You answer them. Where'd you do your last flip? Oh, I did my last flip in California. Oh, okay. Or, you know, what do you need from me? Or if they are badgering you with questions, sometimes they'll do it. Say, listen, you know what? I did my last flip in California, or I did my last flip in Stockton, or I did my last flip in Milwaukee or St. Louis, wherever it is. But I want to do one here with you now. Do you think you could help me find some properties? Let them know what you're wanting now. They're going to ask questions because they don't want to waste their time. But if you show them that you have experience, the energy and the systems, they're going to want to work with you. It's amazing what a solid real estate story can do to get you connected with everyone that you need in this business, whether it's, again, realtors, contractors, wholesalers, money people. They love to know that you have some sort of experience. So your real estate story is incredibly important, and it has to be built on truth, not the whole truth. You don't have to tell them, I was recently let go from my company, so I've got a lot of time on my hands. No, I'm recently retired. I just moved here and I'm renting a house. No, I'm looking to expand my business. And, I don't have any experience, but can you send me some houses? No, it's, hey, I've got a lot of time, energy. I'm in love with this real estate investing business, and I've seen my parents do it and make money off of houses, and I want to do it too. So do you want to make some money with me? Can we do this together? It's all on how you present your story. You have to discover you're amazing. We all have it. We all have a real estate story inside of us. And you have to believe it. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some conversations where you're having this story. And you want to practice it, whether you're practicing it while you're driving to work, looking in the mirror, talking with a spouse, a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. Practice will make it better. But keep it short. Notice these stories weren't long stories. It was about a paragraph. Because, again, you don't want to spew all of this information at somebody. Because they don't care about your story that much. They see you as a potential paycheck, and they're thinking, can I make money off this guy or with this guy, with this girl? And if your story, that quick synopsis of your story is done right, they're going to not worry about your past. They're going to focus on their future with you. And again, people still tell me no. I mean, I've done hundreds of flips, and I've been part of thousands of transactions, and I still will talk to people that don't know me, and they say, yeah, you know what? I don't like working with you real estate investors. I know how you guys work, and it's like, okay, that's cool. Is there anyone in your office that does? Or can you recommend somebody? If it's a contractor and the contractor doesn't want to work with flippers, you just say, that's cool. Do you have somebody you could recommend? Make that conversation worthwhile. Get something out of it. Don't feel bad if you get a no, if you get a rejection, or if somebody questions you and you stumble over your words. Each one of those conversations is a part of your training. It's a tool to get you further. So it's that much closer to gold is what I like to say. It's the way that you learn what to say, and more importantly, what not to say. Sometimes you'll have a conversation with somebody and their eyes start kind of glazing over, and they're kind of looking around, looking at their phone or the watch. You're probably talking too long. Bring them back to the conversation. What do you do? What's your expertise? But it's going to take time for you to go through your story and practice it. But don't wait until you think you have it perfect, because you got to get out there and just do it. You have to start connecting with people. Go to real estate investing clubs in your local markets and say, stand up and let people know who you are and what you need and what you're doing. It's scary, but you got to do it. You got to do it. It's your real estate story, and they need to know who you are, what you need, so that they can bring it to you. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And more importantly, when you're telling your story, don't have it scripted out. Don't say, okay, here's my story. It's like a 3.5 minute speech. I'm going to get through all of it. I know what I'm going to say. I know what questions they're going to ask me. And I'm going to be ready for those. Tell your story short, and then listen to their questions. I've heard a lot of new investors talking, and they tell their story, and somebody asks them a question. and they answer a question, but it's not the one that was asked. It's the one they thought was going to be asked. It's one that they might have been asked in a conversation 2 days ago. So they're thinking, okay, now I'm ready for that question. I know the answer now. You have to really listen. And if you're listening to somebody and if they're speaking and part of the conversation with you, you're doing it right. So listen to their questions. But when you answer those questions, make sure you divert it to, if it's a question about your past, divert it to, well, this is what I did, but this is what I'm looking for now. This is what I'm wanting to do. Can you help me with that? So you always change it because we want to focus on our future. Your real estate story, it's already there. You are already a real estate investor. You just have to believe it. You have to go through and look at your history, see what you've done, write it out, and decide, what. Keep it short is what it comes down to. Keep it short and listen and focus on the future because your story is going to be amazing. And your story is what you need. So as you meet more people and go through these stories, it's going to get better and better. And I can't wait to hear your real estate stories. If you're on the forum, practice your story on the forum on Facebook. You can put it in there. Say, hey guys, what do you think of this? Even if you want to do a Facebook Live or something, it's amazing the tools that you have to talk with other students, other real estate investors, and you can practice with them because we all want to see each other succeed. There is enough business out there for everyone, but it starts with your story. So guys, you have to go through the homework at the end of this video module. And it's going to be right underneath the video on the website, and click on them and see what you need to do because you have to take action, and you have to take action now to get to where you want to go. Good luck and keep going through the videos. There's more to come.